welcome back to winemastery.co.uk. My name is John Lightfoot. This is
Abbie Nielsen.
and this is
Chris Strong.
and we're here today talking about this exciting new project this couple have got on the go. It is really exciting. A new English distillery here in the gorgeous Yorkshire countryside. So in part one we discussed the background of Abbie and Chris and how they got here. And what we like to talk about now is actually how are you going to create the distillery. We are here in what I would refer to as a carcass of a distillery. A little bit to go before it's finished. I feel like a bit like sort of Hammer Home BBC series here. But yeah, so what have you got to do? Literally all you have at the moment is a roof and foundations and some batten walls. Where do we go from here to actually set up the distillery? What do you have to do?
So next stage, we're self-building it with the help of friends and family, and some of our founders actually pitched in as well.
So let's just talk about that. You've actually set up a website so people can actually sort of like crowdfunding almost.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So the Founders Club is our crowdfunding campaign, and it gives other people the opportunity to get involved and become part of the story and help build this distillery. So,
well, I'll put the link down below so you can actually see the website. It is, by the way, guys, brilliant website. I really like it. Nice and clean and very good. Excellent website. So have a look at that. It's really interesting. And you have different levels, don't you, of membership?
Yeah,
There's
we do.
The seed.
Seed, juniper, barley, and copper. So it starts at £30, which is ideal gift, right up to the more established memberships, which means you get a name on the founder's plaque in the distillery and a chance to own our first release whiskey and first release gin. So limited edition bottlings. So that's the top tier memberships.
Fantastic. Well, again, have a look at the website. All of the options are there for you to take a look at. Okay, so that's presumably helping sort of fund, because I guess the one big thing with whiskey is unlike gin distilling, is you don't make it and then sell it. You actually make it and then wait for 5 years.
Yeah, it's a long waiting game.
I guess bank managers aren't too keen on that.
No, not so much. No. So yeah, we're making gin, and obviously we'll be running tours at the distillery. Basically, to keep us busy. Until the whiskey's
give
ready.
some cash flow.
Yeah.
So you've got. What about actually the equipment? Where's that coming from? How did you research finding it? Where did you go?
So our whiskey still, so the copper pot, is coming from Tasmania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Biggest souvenir we've ever bought.
Really? Wow. That must have cost a lot just to get it across, let alone the cost of the actual product.
Oh, it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, because one of the main factors for us was the spirit that they're making was so unique and so different that we wanted to bring that back. And the copper pot is plays a big part in shaping the character of your spirit. Okay. So it was really important that we use that shape of still.
Does it really? Does it? I would have thought copper's copper and.
It's the shape of the still and it's the way it's heated as well. Okay. So as far as we're aware, no one else in England, no one else in the UK has a still like ours, and the way it's heated is quite innovative as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, those things combined make quite a different character.
Wow, all these subtleties all go to make the final.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you distill. What about the gin distiller? Is that?
So the gin, we're actually taking a bit of a unique process to making the gin. So we'll have 2 different stills to make our gin. So we're actually using a rotary evaporator, and I won't go into all the nitty-gritty details, but it's a piece of equipment usually seen in the laboratory, and no one else in Yorkshire is currently using that to make gin.
Okay.
Basically means you can distill at really low temperatures, so you get really fresh flavours coming off the botanicals.
So you're not destroying any of the sort of lighter, more delicate flavours.
Wow.
Yeah. So we use a combination of the 2 distillations to shape the spirit, depending on what botanicals we use.
Fantastic. I understand you hope to be able to use botanicals from your plot here. You were saying you've got bees and wow.
Yeah.
So we've got lavender, chamomile, apple blossoms. We've had an orchard planted. There's bees and honey on site. So there's a lot to choose from.
Things.
Wow.
We can play with.
So really fresh. And I guess in terms of actually do you know? Have you already worked out what you're going to, what the proportions of each of the botanicals? You've already done that, or is that yet to come?
We have a basic recipe that we're going to work to, but it all just depends on our process. It will be basically sort of shaped to exactly how we want our spirit. So it will be a lot of experimentation and developing the recipe when we get the equipment.
Wow.
seasonal as well to an extent. Obviously, you're not going to get all those botanicals all year round, and things will taste different throughout different times of the year. So we could look at doing seasonal releases of gin to kind of reflect what's available at the time.
Oh well, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So we like to stick to a sort of core, house style gin, but then we'll experiment around that.
Because I guess then season from season as well, the taste is going to be different. So presumably you might have to sort of tweak the mixtures of what you do. Wow, so it's really, really exciting. I can guess that's where the passion comes, that's where the time, that must be very time intensive to do that. I mean,
yeah, it is, but it's a fun process. You get to experiment with different flavours, and we love food and drink. I remember lots of friends who also like food and drink.
Who doesn't?
There'll be a lot of experimentation, a lot of testing and trying, and it will take a little time to tweak it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
okay. So we have the are they called distilled tons, or what are they referred to? The copper
pot stills.
Pot stills. Okay.
Yeah.
And what other equipment do you need then to create this distillery?
So it's very similar, so making whiskey is very similar to the starting process for brewing beer. So we'll have very similar equipment, a big mash tun for sort of making the barley porridge, fermentation tanks, again very similar to wine, so that's where we'll put the yeast in, which will turn the barley water into alcohol, and then that alcohol will go through the copper pot still.
Okay.
So that in a nutshell is it. There's not a huge amount of equipment, I guess, is there?
No, and then once it comes off the still, it's a clear spirit, so a lot of people don't know that whiskey is actually clear when it goes into the cask, and all of its colour comes from the cask itself. So the casks will be matured on site in the distillery, just behind us, and we anticipate the whiskey taking about 4 to 5 years to mature.
4 to 5 years?
4 to 5 years, yeah.
That's a big investment. I mean, you'll have a lot of money sitting there just waiting to be able to reap the rewards from it. So, wow, it's very brave of you guys. Very, very brave. So the other thing that I find difficult to comprehend as well is that if it's going to take that long to mature, when you're tasting it 5 years before it's going to be finished, how do you know what it's going to taste like 5 years hence?
It's a good question. A lot of people ask that as well. It's when the spirit matures, you can try that all throughout that maturation process. Okay. So you can try that every week, every month, every year, whatever you feel necessary. So you get an idea of how that spirit's maturing and how it's basically what it's going to taste like when it's finished. Yeah. So you get to monitor that, and if things aren't going as well as you want, you can change casks. You can put it in one cask to start with and finish it in another one to give different characters to the whiskey. So there's still experimentation you can do and still ways you can tweak the process.
And the big benefit of being a small craft distillery where we're not so much caring about the volume of the spirit we produce, it's about the character. We can be really choosy with the casks that we put our spirit into. So we can choose the best casks, the expensive casks, because we're not producing that huge volume. So ultimately the spirit should be fantastic at the end of it.
And you were saying, I think earlier, that you've got smaller casks than normally, for example, they would use in Scotland. Yeah, much smaller,
so you get a bigger surface area of wood to spirit, so it matures at a faster rate.
Okay. But also gives a richer character of spirit. And again, it's something we learned in Tasmania. They use smaller casks, and the character of that spirit is much more robust, much more full on.
And where are you going to get your casks from? Are they going to be?
Well, we're really lucky actually. So there's one Master Cooper left in the whole country, and he happens to live in Wetherby. So he's 22 miles away. Yeah, Alistair Sims.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So we've gone to meet him a couple of times, and he's going to be coopering our casks. So we're really fortunate to.
And what would you use? Is it oak, I presume?
Yes, oak. Yeah.
And is it because there's French oak, there's English oak, there's American oak.
Traditionally, in Scotland they use bourbon casks, so American oak. Okay. And then that's what most Scotch is aged in. But in England we're quite free to experiment here, so we don't even have to use oak. You can use different woods. We can use sherry casks, port casks, wine casks.
Wow.
So, we can really experiment.
We don't want to limit ourselves to one particular cask type. We want to, explore, try different styles until we sort of hone our spirit.
Fantastic. Wow, that sounds really exciting. Well, before we'll wrap this one up here, and we'll just get to the last part of this interview. We'll have a little chat about what your plans are and what your dreams are for the future. Okay. Catch it in part 3.